I got distracted right there for a minute. I was watching United versus Liverpool. 1-1, impressive game. So we're going to have to do this quick because I certainly want to get a glance of what's happening in this one. So what's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? Boys here, and welcome back to another live match reaction here on the channel. Welcome to another episode of Unscripted. And today we have to talk about Elche versus Barcelona, a victory that certainly gave us a lot of motivation and a lot of confidence going forward. For me, this was one of the most I mentioned in a tweet underwhelming, but it wasn't really underwhelming of a game. It was more of a very well studied game. It was very balanced for most of the entire, I would say, 90 minutes. But apart from that, I must admit that it was good to see because we saw many players taking the opportunity to really cement themselves into what should be a new team for the future. So particularly, wait, just before that, the chat box is not showing up. I'm not sure why that. Oh, it just literally showed up as I restart the thing. But yeah. So the thing for me was that basically, players like De Jong, Umtiti, they stepped up a lot. I think that Umtiti today was pretty solid, pretty impressive. Not like I mentioned before some other days where he was just okay. I think today he was an improvement from what we've seen certainly in Lenglet and other teams like and other players like that. And then of course I would also like to add that for me De Jong was a masterclass. De Jong putting the best performance I've seen in a long time. And we were looking for players that how you say it? When Messi's not there, players that take the mantle, take the situation by the scruff of the neck, you know? And my goodness, De Jong did that today. De Jong put the team on his back and carried. 1 goal, 1 assist, but not just the stats, not just the numbers. Mainly for me, it was the connections, the movement that he has. I'm mentioning how in the first half, the movement wasn't at the best. And players like Busquets were playing good, but could not take advantage of their skill set as much as they want to because of that lack of movement. And De Jong, just in the second half, was like, okay, Busquets, now it's my time. Okay, I'm going to help you out. And he just revolutionized the game completely. Throughout this game, in the second half, there wasn't a single moment that I was terrified that Elche could equalize. I felt secure 100%. I knew we were going to win the game. That is what I believe De Jong brought to us today. A sense of security in our side that before we didn't have because we just had someone there that was in full throttle. And that was incredible to see. He has changed so much in his game. And we must thank Koeman in a sense for doing that, for not perhaps be the one telling him exactly what to do, because I think that a lot of it is down to De Jong itself, because he's someone that administrates criticism and reacts to it in a positive way, but because Koeman is giving him the platform to do so. So at least he's giving the games and he's giving him the right position, the things that a manager can do, and then De Jong is putting all of himself to reach the top. That is what I think is happening in today's game. Just moving now into your comments. Let's do that now. I'm gonna take out this thing that I had before, and let's start right away with Tarek Yunis, a regular now on the channel that is donated again. Thank you very much for that. And you're saying we have been slowly getting better. We went from being 10th in the table to 3rd. Also, we went from having never barely winning away games to winning 5 or 6 in a row now. We have been getting better, no question. I agree with that. There's something that I haven't talked about, and it's the fact that we are winning more away games. Certainly, it's not the big away games that we have won so far. We still need to beat Real Madrid in the Santiago Bernabeu. We lost against Atletico Madrid in the Wanda. So, of course, we want to progress in those certain situations. In those matches, that's where we want to get the 3 points. But it's good to have at least a good sample size now for when we can move forward and start winning those more important away games. I like that. I really, really do. So, I think it's progress. It really is. Goku versus Vegeta. I haven't watched Dragon Ball ever. I haven't watched Dragon Ball not a single time in my life. My cousin used to watch that. Whenever I went to his house, he would have that on TV, but I never seen Dragon Ball. I don't have that much interest on it, honestly. I think it's a little bit over the top, and I don't want that. Adam Winnie Wilson saying, now what about Puig, Buga? You support the statement that Puig doesn't train well. What was that? Bro, one thing, this is what I don't get. Football is like, oh, you have to take this side and then you have to take the other one. You have to be either like left or right. There's no gray spaces in the middle. What the hell, man? Like, I can say I support the statement that he doesn't train well, and that might well be true because he still needs to get more game time constantly starting. But that doesn't detract from the fact that he's playing amazing and scoring the goals. I say that he needs the minutes. I say he needs the consistency. I say he needs all the game time. But one thing doesn't take away from the other. If you do believe that, then I'm really sorry to tell you, but your spectrum of mind is very little, and you have to really start doing more to get that open up. Because if you look at life like that, you're not gonna get anywhere. We know, bro, why? That's the same with George M here. Why hate Puig? Why would the hell I hate Puig? Why? He has never done anything to me for me to hate Ricky Puig. There's no fact in it that I need to hate Ricky Puig. All the time that I've been saying is that we just don't know the true story. And there's no point in jumping into a bandwagon like that without any references in behind. That's all I'm doing. That's all that I'm doing. What else? Michel Buffor. I saw I would slap you for not watching Dragon Ball Z. I haven't. I have never watched that. When I was a kid, I used to watch just Pokemon. Pokemon for me is my thing. You sound like Ali from ESPN UK. Ali, you mean Alejandro, I think his name, right? He's from Venezuela, so he speaks Spanish as well, right? So it's probably around an accent and things like that. Why would Koeman hate him when he's the one that subbed him on? I think that the fact with Koeman is probably, like I said, things that are external to the game, because Koeman probably 100% knows that Ricky Puig is good enough. You don't have to be a master in football to realize he's a good player. I remember when I was in the UK and I was watching Barcelona versus, I think it was Barcelona versus Ibiza or Barcelona versus someone in the Copa del Rey. And it was me, I think it was against Atletico Bilbao where we lost. It was me, my two friends, and one of them, he doesn't watch football, right? He just was there because he's our friend and he was spending time with us while we watch football. And he was saying like, oh, that kid, he's pretty good. Or he wasn't even mentioning that kid. He was like, oh, that player is pretty good, the number 28. And I was like, yeah, that's Enrique Puig. And like I said, you don't have to be an outstanding football genius to realize that he's actually good, because the talent is something that you can see without reading in between the lines. It's just a huge bold text that tells you, here I am. And that is what talent gives you. But then when you are a manager, when you're a club, when then you're trying to do something for the future, when you read between those lines, there has to be good enough relevant text to suggest that that player should be there. And that is what Koeman basically is not doing, or that is what Koeman is struggling with. He doesn't see enough from Puig in those little instances that he can go and say, you know what, you deserve that, because he might have those reasons for why he prefers Pedri and all of those things. But it doesn't take away that for us fans, we want to see Ricky Puig, because on the pitch, Ricky Puig is someone that delivers. And like we just saw one day, like I said, it was 1 minute 88 seconds that he scored, or it was 88 seconds, so 1 minute and 28 seconds that he scored. That's impressive, you know? That is what Ricky Puig has been doing. And if you believe that, if you want to hear more of these opinions where I'm in the game, I suggest you that go out there and watch, follow me on Twitter, because every time throughout the game, I'm watching the game, I'm writing on Twitter. And what I speak on these live streams are basically kind of like the bullet points that I've done throughout this Twitter kind of campaign or something. So go on Twitter, follow me there, because that's where you'll get updates on a daily basis on kind of things that are on point, you know? There's no point in making videos for whatever little piece of news is. But if you want to hear within the game, oh, what Griezmann did in that shot, stuff like that, and what do I think, what's my opinion, follow me there on Twitter, because that's where you can see it. Thought of Trincao. On Trincao, a lot of people are asking that. So for me, the thing about Trincao is that I think he's a good enough player. I think he has good potential. He has everything in him. But for me, the problem was his attitude. And I didn't see in Trincao that thrive and kind of that determination to be the best. He was just like that. He was just there. You know, he was indifferent to everything that happened in the game. And today I'm happy to say that Trincao didn't show that. Trincao today came on, was sharp, had 3 occasions on goal, and 3 of them were amazing saves. So Trincao honestly could have gotten a goal today, and that is what he's lacking. He's lacking that goal to have some self-belief in himself. And when he gets that Trincao, I think he will get better, but we just have to wait and see. And if you are struggling yourself to think about Trincao and what opinion do you have to have with him, I just have to admit and say that just have time, have patience. Please have patience, not with Trincao, just for every single player in the world. Because if, as a fan base, we literally criticize a player for the sake of you trying to be right, makes no sense. Criticism is about trying to give positive feedback with leaving a room for improvement. So you criticize someone on what he's doing wrong, and then you allow them to get better by providing something like, you know what, you should try this, or perhaps he should do this better. That is the sort of criticism that someone should be given. And the worst sort of criticism is saying like, oh, Koeman is playing Trincao, oh, he's such a shit, whatever, because he should be giving that minutes to Conrad, all of that. No, that criticism must be done to Trincao. Analyze, do the two kind of measures of both sides, and then come to a conclusion on your own criticism. Because if we just continue doing like that with a fan base, we're going to kill every single player. And who knows, maybe Trincao is not good enough, maybe he is, maybe he's even better than we expect. It's just the sake that we have to give time, and we have to make those criticisms prove to be right. Because right now, if you're just closing in your kind of, how you say, your perspective, your thought in your mind, you're not allowing for progression, and that is what you need. So many of you, I 100% bet that we're doubting on Dembele. We're like, oh, this injury is so shit. He's never gonna live up to his price tag and all of that. And some of those statements might as well be true to some extent. But Dembele is probably one of the most active players this team has. And if you are able to find that consistency, you're able to give that time to people, to players, to human beings, they're gonna deliver. So just chill out. That is one of the reasons why I never really go crazy. There's very few instances in football where I have an opinion, and I really do believe that's the case. Because in football, you can never be 100% right. You can never be right. In football, there are so many factors that it's impossible for every single one of us here to know. We can see external factors, but then those internal ones, we have no idea. So there's no point in thinking that you are the best. There's no point in thinking that you're Nostradamus 2.0 or the Albert Einstein of football. Just have to chill out, enjoy, watch, and feel happy for what you have. And then whenever you feel something needs to be improved on, just make good enough arguments to back up whatever claim you have. So that's what you need to do. What else? Sub the Up 10 says, Puig, Pedri, De Jong trio looks good on paper, but De Jong is a box-to-box midfielder. It would only restrict his abilities if you play him as a defensive mid. I think a midfield that I would like to watch is Riqui Puig / Pedri, one of those two, with De Jong and Busquets. Riqui Puig and Pedri have most similar qualities in between them, so probably that's one of the reasons why one is getting more minutes than the other, because you need to alternate between them. But I would like to see Riqui Puig, De Jong, and Busquets there. I think that's a much better midfield, because if there's something that Riqui Puig does better than Pedri, is that Pedri kind of floats around horizontally when it comes to the final third area. He doesn't really comes in deep as much as we need to. And that verticality that you need to progress play is something that Barcelona is lacking. And Riqui Puig is amazing at doing that. De Jong has improved a lot so far in trying to add aspects to the game. So that is what needs to happen. I think that Riqui Puig there, being that player that can just act as the main, the main pump. I would say like a pump in the engine room. I think that is what could give us a lot of success. So I will play Riqui Puig, De Jong, and Busquets there just to see how it goes. The same as how I've been mentioning Araujo and Umtiti. It's something that needed to happen, and today it did. I think they were good. And that is something that Brent Garcia says here. Araujo and Lenglet is okay. Araujo and Umtiti is good. Imagine Araujo and Piqué. I think Araujo and Piqué is also something that I would like to see, because Piqué has that leadership that perhaps Umtiti and Lenglet doesn't have. Not that he's particularly better or anything, but just because he has that clout inside the dressing room, so he's able to command Araujo, and Araujo is going to follow. Araujo simply looks, 3 Champions Leagues. Wow. How many Ligas? Okay, I'll follow you, Piqué. I'll say what you do. I'll do what you say. So that's how I think it will be. Web Santiago Buga, you were mad when... unless you have a camera in my room, there's no way for you to know that. I was happy because we needed a second goal, man. Barcelona 1-0, that is something that I never like. 1-0 results for me are just way too close. We need to have 2-0 results at always. And like I said, that header caught me off guard so much. I wasn't expecting Riqui Puig, one of the smaller players in our team, to do that. Pretty good. And to just keep believing that Web Santiago, because honestly, it makes my life more entertaining. Brad Hama, do you think Puig has a big defensive liability as he's made out to be? I don't think Puig is particularly a defensive liability. I think that is what is commonly known. But to allow a player like that to be effective defensively, you need to have a system. You need to have a unit. So until Barcelona get that system in place, which so far is looking like we're getting into something, that is when Riqui Puig will really take full flight. Because so far the team is disorganized, and you just see Riqui Puig, he can give you all of us in attack, but he will be organized here. So I think that is where Koeman and the managers needs to take place. The managers have to give a good platform for Riqui Puig to be able to be good. Riqui Puig can be good defensively. Why? Because he has the stamina, he has the determination, he has the attitude. The attitude of Riqui Puig is something that we cannot question. Riqui Puig thinks he's the absolute best, and when he does believe that, he shows it on the pitch. So defensively as well, he's going to contribute in that sense, because he's going to run, he's going to cover space, he's going to be looking for interceptions, he's going to battle it out. He might be one of the smallest characters in the team in terms of size, like in the body, but he will go into a duel and he's going to battle against Adama Traore. He's going to do that because that is what he believes he needs to do to win. And that is something that you can praise. So when that happened, I believe Riqui Puig can be an amazing, not liability. What's the opposite of liability? I don't know what's the opposite of liability. He will be a guarantee in that sense. We need to do that. We need to create a system, and then Riqui Puig will take full furrow. That is why I believe Riqui Puig is sticking here. He's not leaving. He's not being loaned out, because the next manager, be it Xavi, will recognize that. And Xavi is going to put a system in the team, and that's where Riqui Puig is going to take full throttle. Hugo Avila, Buga out, Koeman out. It hurts so much. I mean, I cannot go out on my own channel. If you want to go out, you can go out. Tarek Yunis again with another donation. Thanks, Tarek. You say, Buga, that's one of the things that really annoys me about fellow Barcelona fans. A lot of they seem to complain no matter what. Instead of criticizing them, cause them out and yell #out is ridiculous. That's the reality of football nowadays. And not even football, just society in general, because it's so easy to communicate your opinion that everyone believes that they have the right they have the responsibility to be right. And that's something that people don't believe. Like, I have a YouTube channel. I do my opinions. You can agree, you can disagree with them. But in no point throughout my entire process of making a video, in my entire process of doing a live stream with you guys, or my entire process of writing our script, I am never thinking that you should believe what I have to believe. I'm just putting my thoughts out there, and then you make your assertions, and you realize what you think is right or wrong. That is the thing that is right. People that just go and force you or try to force you to have the same opinion as you, I think that's wrong. I think that's not really the point of why I'm here, and that's something that I would never wanna do. The life of Eli. Trincao played well the minutes that he was in. Yeah, I agree. I think Trincao was sharp, and it was certainly different. He still hasn't shown anything quantitative. But qualitative, he's improving. In quantity, he needs to improve as well, because at the end of the day, that is something that we need to back up statements. Like it's when you do an essay or something, you can make this huge argument about Trincao being amazing, but what's the evidence? What's the proper concrete evidence that he's actually improving? So that is where Trincao, sorry about the redundancy, but that's where Trincao needs to improve. Mouse down saying, would you accept Barca not winning any trophies, not winning any top games? UCL, what do you mean CL? CL, what's CL? Champions League, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, but still finish second in the league in this troubled year? I wouldn't accept that. I wouldn't accept Barca not winning anything. I think we always have to demand for trophies, because that's the only way that we brought up in this world, especially for the size of Barca, right? But I mean, it will be okay. Just like I said before in a tweet, and like I said, follow me on Twitter there, because you're gonna get a lot of insight on the moment. What I said is that with the Copa del Rey now being basically just Barca the biggest team in it, we have a great chance to at least win a trophy here. So Koeman must take it. Koeman must prepare every single game of the Copa del Rey like it's a final, because I think that that's where we're gonna get some silverware this year if we can. Buga Avila. Buga. De Jong runs this team when Messi isn't playing. I agree with you 100% over there. De Jong is taking the mantle, like I said, in this game, particularly because in this game we didn't have Messi, like you say, And normally you could just say, oh, Griezmann should be the one running the team, right? But De Jong took this completely by himself, and he was running, he was connecting passes, he was tracking back. I remember when there was this chance by Nino, the striker from Elche, and he was running behind. And the commentator said like, oh, it's Mingueza on the run all the way from the corner, but it wasn't. It was De Jong. And that tells you how much determination, mentality, attitude combined, you have a great player right there. And that's what De Jong brings to the side. IS says, Tarek Yunis, I agree with you so much. Like, it's okay to criticize a player when they don't play well, but instead Barca fans will constantly abuse the player. This is what I believe makes us toxic. I think in general, like every fan base has that, you know? Every fan base has that. Yes, everyone has a dumb opinion. Lamau. Yeah. Like, everyone has their own opinion. But when people start thinking their opinion is the only one, that's where you cross the line. I believe that's where you cross the line. If you listen to, like, that is what a journalist, for instance, needs to do, and that's why good and bad journalists exist. I think that is where you have to make that statement. Opinions exist. You have to respect all opinions. And when you stop respecting all opinions and you start believing your opinion is the only one, then you're wrong. You're really, really wrong. And I'm worried about you if you do that. Blessing says, hello. Blessing. Who's Blessing? I'm so... Blessing right now is crying. What do you think about... A lot of people are asking about the PSG game. That is something we're going to talk about later. I want to talk about everything that happens in this game, and then we can talk about PSG. Will Ansu be available for PSG? I have no idea, Anwin. I have no idea. But it will be good to research on that. I think that Ansu is needed, though. I think he's needed. There you have from Noe Anwin. He says that he potentially could be back according to reports, so I'll take it. What do you think of Araujo tonight? I think Araujo is just such a blessing in disguise, honestly. Araujo is constantly... No, this is the thing. He's not only being good, he's improving. He's constantly improving as games go on. And that is something that tells you a lot about up here mentality. I'm tired of hearing people talking about tactics. I'm tired about people talking about formations and players. When you have a footballer that has the right mindset, you have a proper baller right there. Because you can be bad, but the mindset will allow you to improve. That is the difference between good and bad. Salúdeme in Spanish. ¿Cómo estás, Master Designs? Ayer says, anyways, this is exactly what he meant and Chief, calm down. Trincao can still improve, and it's not like there's a guarantee that Haaland will sign for Barcelona or that he will even succeed. Indeed, of course, there's more chances for Haaland to succeed because what I mentioned before of the evidence, there's more evidence that Haaland is a better player than Trincao currently. But last year, for instance, Trincao was 30 most goal contributions in the world for under 20 players. It was Haaland, it was Sancho, and then Trincao. So I guess we can just do whatever. We can just say whatever. What else? Are you concerned? Big Drip Mo saying hello, how are you once again? Buga says, Big Drip Mo says to me, are you concerned for our future like when Messi leaves? I am after this match. I am not really concerned about when Messi leaves because I just see everything positive in a sense. Like, Messi leaves, it will be sad. We're losing the best player in the world. We're losing God knows how many goals and assists. But it's just a sense of seeing some new chapter, a new generation. I'm excited for that. You know, I'm excited for that, and I'm going to support that. Because above all, I'm not a supporter of a player. I'm a supporter of a club. And Messi in, Messi out, whatever manager is there, whatever happens, I'm going to at least hope for the better. And like I said, try to make criticism to make it, to make this team as good as it can get. I think that players may turn up like Griezmann, Coutinho if Messi leaves because they're going to be occupying that space that he's going to be leaving. But I don't really want to think about that right now because we don't know what's going to happen. I still think that Messi will stay. I still feel, but we just have to wait and see. Braithwaite got awful first touches. I agree with you. And Dembélé today also was as electric and as dynamic as I say he was. He was pretty inaccurate. He was pretty wasteful a lot of the time. I think that is something that he needs to improve on. As soon as he gets that, I think he's gonna climb up precisely up the ladder of wingers. It's kind of opposite of what other players had, like Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling was an amazing player at decision making, but when it came to shoot, his finishing was awful. Dembele has the opposite, where his finishing is actually kind of good, his balls are kind of good, his passing is kind of good, his I already said dead balls, right? His dead balls are kind of good, his free kicks, all of that. But the decision making and when he needs to pass, when he needs to associate, I think that is something that Dembele needs to improve on. He gets that, and we have a proper player in our hands. Subrata Mahayan saying, Buga, you produce quality content and you deserve much more views and subs. What do you think is not letting your channel grow? What is not letting my channel grow? I think it's a mixture of things. For instance, I always think that YouTube, the algorithm, things like that, have something against me, where my channel has been moving from so many different chapters. Like, I have done football for 2 years, but before that, I shifted many times. I was talking about football, but like FIFA. I was doing like FIFA videos, and then before that, I was doing like Call of Duty and whatever, and before that, I was doing other stuff. So in YouTube now, to actually be good, and here's a tip for everyone who wants to do YouTube, you have to stick to one thing, and that's what YouTube wants. They want you to stick to one thing and just do it every single time, same thumbnail, same titles, every single time. That is what YouTube wants. And I'm just done fighting that, because I was doing that and it didn't make me happy as a producer, right? I wanted to produce more stuff and different stuff, more analytical things. And sometimes when you don't make them from the get-go, that's where your channel kind of gets stuck. But also, I think that the only way to prove if that's really the case, I have to be more consistent. I have to be able to give myself a schedule where I'm uploading every single 2 days and doing these live streams and things like that. So like I said, I'm trying to stick to uploading Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every single week, plus the bonus live streams. And then I want to add bonus news videos. But the only way for me to be able to get that point is to slowly work myself up that way. Slowly but surely finishing university. So as soon as that's done and I graduate, I can then give more time to this. And I think that's it. I honestly think that's it. I don't have really much problem about that. It's sad sometimes when you do a video, you work a lot and you see others are getting videos and views and you're not. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It matters what you produce, right? It matters what you do. And I'm happy with what I do. So I'm going to be there. BugaLuis, Talk FC. Talk FCB is such a busy man, really. You have to admire how many videos he put out. I would like to contact him, especially for when I start the podcast, The Engine Room, soon, with Pablo, sometime soon. Certainly. I have some guests that are lined up and I want to get into the podcast as well. So as soon as that happens, I'm sure that we would like to ask Jamie to join. He's a pretty good content creator and has a lot of opinions, I bet. So I would love to have him there. Chances of Barca winning the UCL. They're tough, but I'm not counting out everything. In contrast to previous seasons, I am hyped for this year because I don't think whatever game happens, I don't think it's going to be a demolition. I think it's going to be a game where I'm actually, even if we lose, I can be happy of what I saw. That's basically the case, you know? Buga, we don't deserve the young. He plays for the badge like Araujo and Puig, but we fail him, bro. Why do people keep saying you're gay, bro? I have no idea. Probably my personality. I'm a pretty open guy, and that's why they think I'm gay. I have no idea. Jobin John Blaugrana Planet. I have heard of Blaugrana Planet. He talked to me once about making a collab video, but the reality is that at that stage I wasn't feeling too good. I was mentally not in the right place, so I didn't want to get too much into making collabs and things like that. And I was figuring what to do in my channel at that stage. I was shifting slowly into trying to do this more analytical type of video, essay videos and documentaries. So I didn't think it was right, but certainly we could bring him in for something. And the other thing that I want to do is I want to get, as much as I'm doing Barca videos, and Barca is my club, and I do videos because it's what I like, right? I'm slowly trying to produce more things about other sports, about football, but other clubs. Like I have a video that I'm doing right now, editing, that is on Zlatan, and it's on AC Milan, because my goodness, what AC Milan is doing is monumental. It really, really is. But yeah, before moving else into other things, why don't we comment on more things on the game? Let me see my notes right now before we move into anything crazy. We mentioned Umtiti, we mentioned Araujo, we mentioned De Jong, we mentioned Ricky Puig, we mentioned Pedri, Trincao. We talked about everything really there is to talk about. I'm happy about that. I'm just gonna go back into comments, I guess. I like your shirt. I like my shirt too. JK. Thanks, dude. Please, mouse down saying, please don't become a screaming Roger like Tracy. I don't like him. What's a Roger? I don't watch too much of his content. I used to watch it a lot when I was kind of younger. But I don't get what's a Roger. I have no idea what's a Roger. Let's hope it's not that bad. Buga, Eric Shitcha is so trash. He has no pace. Bro, for 1 minute it took me ages to realize what you were talking about. But you're talking about Eric Garcia. Eric Garcia is so trash, bro. He has no pace, he's not aggressive, and his slides tackles is trash. I prefer Araujo and Todibo. Have you guys read the statements about Todibo, about his agent that was previously there in Barca? He was the one who brought him to Barca, and then he's been saying how Todibo, when he arrived, he felt like he was already on top of the world, and the agent was like, you need to work harder. Even the managers say you need to work harder, and Todibo didn't do that. What do you think about that? Barca B scores. Yeah, right. They're playing against I don't know the name of the team. I think it's Ovier. I have no idea. Yeah, AC Milan lost 3-0 to Atalanta, but besides that, they're playing good. Yeah, they really are playing good. But the key of what I'm talking there in that video that I'm doing probably will come out Wednesday. It's about Zlatan and how he's changing that mentality, because Ibra is a person that is going to demand 100% from you. You know what? So yeah. Are you religious, bro? Ilse says. I'm not that religious. I really am not. My mom is really religious. She was religious when I was younger. Then she stopped for a bit because of work, and now she has finished work now. She has, I think the word is not retire, but something akin to that. She's been getting more religious, but I'm not really that religious. Rat G-ear, someone that constantly shouts. Yeah, like I said, I haven't heard that much about taxi, but that's something that were saying a lot. I am someone that I'm never gonna shift my way of speaking. Like, I'm gonna speak like I speak. I talk to you like I talk to my friends. So, so yeah. Oh yeah, Big Mick Dream Mo says Eric Garcia is willing to pay from his own pocket to arrive to Barca. Yeah, he was willing to pay 2 million euros to make the signing happen, which is surprising, to be honest. With Umtiti improving, is there room for Garcia? I think there's room, but I believe that probably if there's one player that's going to be leaving anytime soon, it's either one of Umtiti and Lenglet. If Umtiti and Lenglet leaves, one of them, I think there's room 100%. And I would be an advocate of making that a thing, of making one of them to leave. Do you think Dembélé is going to go away from Barca or stay? I think he's gonna stay. Puig is smashing Koeman's wife and Busquets. That's why Koeman hates him. I don't know. Let me check. Let me check how pretty is Koeman's wife. Martina Koeman. That's her name. Retreat. Abort mission, guys. Abort mission. Ricky Puig, I wouldn't smash that. I wouldn't smash that if I were you. I wouldn't smash that. Look it up. I wouldn't smash that. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Not my type. Would you take Agüero? Says Julian Koskamp. Would I take Agüero? There's a lot of reports saying that Barcelona are interested in Agüero, right? Because he's right now his contract this season. Would I take Agüero? The thing with Agüero is that I think he's an amazing player. I think he's honestly been underrated for most of his life. When we're talking about Premier League strikers that are up here or forwards, I'm talking about Rooney, I'm talking about Alan Shearer, Thierry Henry. I think Agüero is up there. I think Agüero is in that level. But as he's getting older, he's becoming way more injury prone, and I think that could cost him, you know? So that's that. That's that. I wouldn't take him because of that. I think he will come to injury prone when time happens, you know? Would you rather sell Lenglet than Umtiti? I would sell Lenglet over Umtiti. I think Lenglet can give us a good money. I think he could go for 40 million, 50. And the thing for me is that Umtiti, although he's injury prone, his level is way higher than Lenglet can ever be. And if we're gonna have Mingueza, Garcia, Lenglet, Mingueza, Garcia, Araujo, Umtiti, and Piqué, we can't afford Umtiti being injured some days, you know? Do you have an OnlyFans account? I don't. And I'm not planning on doing one anytime soon. The thing that I'm honestly surprised is that OnlyFans was open kind of like a Patreon, right? So technically, a YouTuber that does whatever, like video games or football or anything, can have an OnlyFans. But it just suddenly became like a porn account, like a porn app. That is so. It's just so weird, right? How society turns it completely. And now, if you have an OnlyFans, it literally means just for posting nude pictures of yourself, right? What is your favorite Barcelona youngster? My favorite youngster, probably either Ansu Fati or Araujo. I think Ansu Fati is still my favorite for me, but Araujo is proper. He is proper. Should we hire Tuchel as manager? No. I think Tuchel is a good manager, but I haven't seen anything of him that really makes me go like, wow, you know? I think he's a proper good manager. He can put a system. He likes to work great players. Like he did with PSG, he made it much more of a troublesome team, PSG, than before. So, yeah, that's Bella Throne's fault. That's Bella Throne's fault 100%. What happened to the girl that was in Shake It Up? Like, I used to watch Shake It Up when in school. In school, there's this room, right, where there was a TV. And whenever the school, like the time to go home finished and you were waiting for your mom to pick you up, it was probably the girls mostly that they would put Shake It Up there, right? And everyone would just sit there and watch Shake It Up because it was the only thing on TV. And I remember Bella Thorne was in that show. I didn't really watch it much. I didn't really watch much Disney Channel or things like that. But I remember she was there, right? And she went from being on Disney to whatever she's now. What would you call her? Is she even an influencer? Buga, you post fake pics on his OnlyFans. Do you know there's a Wikipedia? That's for you, Hugo. There's a Wikipedia on the internet. I don't know where you can find it. Where literally, like, it's only a wiki, not a Wikipedia, a wiki for feet of YouTubers. So you can find PewDiePie's feet there, Marcia's feet there. What are famous, like the Trigars feet there, people from BuzzFeed and stuff like that. Is literally just for feet. I haven't looked it up, but I heard it from one of the YouTubers that I watch. He said that the other day. If you could make one signing to fix Barcelona right now, what would you sign? I would sign. Haaland. Okay, I'll tell you this. I have one signing for each position, right? So goalkeeper, fine. Right back, I think I would bring back Emerson. I think that would be an amazing signing. Center backs, De Ligt for me is the best upcoming young center back in the world. Left back, I will bring Grimaldo. Midfield, I will bring Tielemans from Leicester. I think he will be a good accessible option. Him or Fabian Ruiz, but I think Tielemans is a better player. And I think he would do very good with De Jong in a double pivot. I would get a winger. No way. Are Manchester United beating Liverpool? Is this what I'm watching right now? Let me see. Okay, Thiago loses the ball. Greenwood onto Rashford, who's running in behind. And I think it was onside. And then goal from Rashford. Let's see. And that's a goal from Rashford. Manchester United are beating Liverpool. What happened to Liverpool? What happened to Liverpool, bro? Why everybody wants to listen to Lonely by Bella Thorne? What? Okay, Lonely by Bella Thorne. Okay, I'm gonna put that on my Spotify right now. With Lonely, no, just Justin Bieber. Lonely by Bella Thorne. Okay, let me hear this. Nah, not my thing. I'm gonna show this song to my mom. Nah, I never like songs that repeat the same thing ever. And especially when you rhyme horny with lonely. It's like an edgy Taylor Swift. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like it one bit. It's like an edgy Taylor. It's like Taylor Swift discovered her sexuality. No, I don't like this. I don't like this. It's horrible. Let me put back my own music. My goodness, what the hell have I just heard? No, I don't like that. I'm gonna put my. I was listening to rock. You make me. I was listening to hard rock, and then I go to this. No, no, dude. No. Can we sign Guy in the summer? Says Zlatan, yo, my dude, I'm a #1 fan. I think we could sign Gaia, but how old is Jose Gaia? Let me check that because I think he's really old, but maybe he's not that much. Jose Gaia is 25 and Alejandro Grimaldo is 25. They're the same age. One is from 95 and the other one is from 95. I'll take anyone. I'll take it. I thought Gaia was like 28, 27. I thought that. Buga listens to rock music, not those pop type. I listen to pop, like, I guess like when I go to, in the UK, like the parties are all Dua Lipa. Like they're all Dua Lipa. They're like, oh, don't go break my heart. Or what's the other song of Dua Lipa? I have no idea what's the other song of. Like I know you're trying to figure me out. But they always put that. I'll listen to that. I listen to rock music, like hard rock, and then I listen to music that could be in the FIFA soundtrack. I don't know what gender is that, but me and my friends, we call it FIFA music. In school, everyone would say, oh, that's a FIFA music song. I remember my math teacher once, she had the FIFA soundtrack playing in the background. And I'm like, Miss, are you really listening to FIFA music now? And she's like, well, yeah. Yeah, I like those type of music. That's the best song ever. What? WAP? WAP the wet ass pussy. Yeah, I know that song. Van Dijk won't join Barca. He won't ever join Barca. Nah. Buga, could you now say what you think about the PSG game? I will say it as soon as I leave. As soon as I leave, because the problem is that when someone rewatches this live stream, that I know some people do, like they rewatch this later on. There's no point in talking about PSG right now, right? So I'll talk about that later. Remember me though. Remember me that I should talk about that because I promise you that. Tagliafico for mine. I was a big advocate of Tagliafico, but one, he's older. Two, he hasn't been playing that good. Although the positive is that he's a real gamer, so I can talk to him really nicely. And with a proper gamer, I mean that he plays like proper games. He doesn't play your Fortnite, your Warzone. He goes into your Dark Souls. He goes into your like Red Dead. Those games are blockbusters, but then he can play Hades, stuff like that. That's a proper gamer right there. I respect Tagliafico, but just because he's a gamer. Don't get deviated. Talk about football. Yeah, I have to talk about. It's just been fun, bro, to listen to this, listen to the emo screams. I haven't. What in the song of Bella Thorne? I haven't listened to that. Big Dream Mode. Buga, what's your favorite team after Barça? My favorite team after Barça. My favorite team after Barça is. I don't have a favorite team after Barça. I'll say the Peru national team. But mainly what I do have is once a season, I see a team that I really like and I want them to do good. So for instance, this season, I really like Mönchengladbach, so I want them to do good. I like Tottenham under Mourinho, so I would like them to do good. Just teams like that, but I don't have like a proper second team. I don't have that. But I used to think they were dating your roommate. He's gonna laugh right now at saying that. No, we were just friends, and we were roommates. We were flatmates. So it was an apartment, and if I said it differently, you would think otherwise. Literally, it was me, him, and 4 girls. So maybe we're pimps. You know what? Maybe we had 2 girls for each guy. But we were me, him, then one girl called, he was Harvey. We went one girl called Ella. She was like, she's typical like blonde girl, typical blonde girl, like skinny blonde. One girl called Lauren. One girl called, she was also British. Everyone were British, except one. One girl called Alicia. She was British, but she was half Indian. And then this girl called Kine that was from Norway, and she was so tall. She was like almost the size of Haaland. She was huge. She was so tall. She was taller than me, taller than everyone I have ever seen. It was huge. She was huge. Please send information about the elections. I don't really have that much information about the elections. The votes are in. We're just waiting to see whether it's going to happen until March the 4th and stuff like that. Do you like Uzi? No, I'll probably add there to watch that. Buga, make a flick chat. I don't. What's like the social media. I'm never gonna listen to that. Have you? Do you like MGK's new album? Not really, but I know he changed. I know he changed from doing like proper rap to something else. So maybe I'll listen to that. Let me check. Yeah, it's more like an indie rock alternative type of music, which is it's not bad. I will listen to this, but it's not. It wouldn't be my favorite, but I will listen to it. I'm gonna leave it in the background. I like it. He lies. He's a Hurricane fan, bro. Yeah, I'm a Hurricane fan. Okay, I admit it. I can't fish for Hurricane. Hurricane is amazing. My other team that I really like is Man U. Man U, the thing with Man U is that they don't have a single player that I could connect with. I just watch their games because they're Man U, right? We all grew up with Man U being this amazing team in England. But that's where he is right now. Do you like Pink Floyd? Yep, I like. If Eddie Garcia comes, do you think we need a center back signing? I don't. I think it will be, that's it. Like, unless Piqué leaves and Araujo, unless Piqué and one of Umtiti and Lenglet leaves, I think that's where we need a signing. I think Umtiti and Lenglet, one of those two needs to leave to make space for these youngsters. And then when Piqué retires, then bring someone of that caliber. And for me, that would be De Ligt. What does Koeman's reaction say when he sees Puig score? According to you, I haven't seen that reaction from Koeman so far. I need to see that better and go from Liverpool. I think go from Salah to Liverpool. Yeah, so I haven't seen his reaction that much. I did see when he just simply looked like he didn't want Ricky Puig to score, but I have to read it in. I have to watch it better because I right now don't have no idea. So with that, guys, honestly, I think that that we should just stay there. Buga, are you from Africa or are you living in the US right now? I'm from neither. I'm from Peru in South America, and I live in Peru right now, but I kind of alternate between Peru and Bournemouth in the UK, in England. So yeah. But that's it, I guess, guys. I think that's it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. What's left. And tomorrow we have a video on Xavi. We have a short documentary on Xavi Hernandez. I think it's one of the best videos I've ever done so far. So go there, check it out. Xavi Hernandez documentary tomorrow coming up. And indeed, subscribe to the channel, follow us on all social media, and I'll see you in the next one. I have big plans for Instagram, for Twitter, but right now I'm just focusing on the YouTube side of things. We have videos on Ibra, Xavi coming on. I want to make one more video on Haaland, maybe, or Mbappe, someone like that. But just that. Are you a Bournemouth fan? I just like Bournemouth because I wanted to live in a town where I was at least supporting a Premier League club, right? But then they got relegated. PSG game. I agree. No. So what do I think about PSG game? I think that Barca versus PSG, I think Barcelona can take a win. I think they can beat PSG, especially under the circumstances of this Mauricio Pochettino side. I have to see more about PSG. I saw their game against Montpellier. I think they were okay. They were good. They were deadly, but you cannot analyze that much because their rivals are not at the level. I guess you could say the same with Barcelona, but I'll be alienating myself from those comments. But in general, for me, the thing is that it's going to be a match of sparkle. It's going to be a match of individualities. It's going to be a match of whatever team can perform something on that particular day. I don't think continuity is going to come too much into it because both teams are pretty much at the same stage. Pochettino is a better manager than Koeman. He's going to be able to get his team to a level way faster than Koeman, in my opinion. Koeman has been doing it for longer, so maybe the levels when we reach that game are going to be kind of at par. And like I say, it's going to be up to Messi. It's going to be up to Neymar, Mbappe, Pedri, Dembele, Griezmann, those big players to make something happen. I think also as well it's a good test. I don't think it's a game where you go like Barcelona versus Manchester City, Barcelona versus Bayern Munich, where it's almost like Barcelona are 100% the underdogs. I think that Barcelona here can be looked at either way. And it's going to be depending on... It's a good test. And it's not like 100% we're out. I like that because it's still a proper... It's a proper game. It's a proper test to see where we are. So that's what I think it is. So yeah, indeed, that's where we are. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao. Remember, tomorrow, Xavi documentary, video on Ibra. Subscribe.